our weekly perceptions.
Hello then, and welcome to another weekly perception. How the devil are you? Well, excellent. I'm Simon Scholes, the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency, and we help brands and businesses just grow a little bit more by looking at their visual content and doing it a little bit better than everybody else in their competition. So, you might hear it in the background. Can you hear that? Yeah. I'm in Bali at the moment, and I'm just mentioning it because I want to make you jealous, to be fair, because I'm really enjoying myself. It's my first holiday in 4 years, and frankly, I deserve it. So I thought I'd just show off a little bit. Anyway, not to worry, moving on. So today's subject matter, I'm going to do a Facebook Live about this, I'm going to do a blog about this as well. And I asked this question on a group I'm a member of a little while ago and got some interesting feedback on it. So my question to you is, what's stopping you right now from doing a Facebook Live? So many people I speak to just don't do it. Whenever I go to a networking session, I ask people to put their hands up, and you can guarantee in a room of around about 18 or 20 people, maybe 3 or 4 have actually done a Facebook Live. The rest have never even thought about it. And most don't even do a blog or anything else like that. So I thought I'd ask the question in this group, what is stopping you from doing a Facebook Live? Quite interesting, some of the things that came back. We're going to go through a few of them and see what we can do to try and break them down a little bit, try and break down the boundaries for you in doing a Facebook Live, because it's really important you do these things. There's an opportunity for you in blogging and Facebook Lives and other social media to really connect with a potential audience that you might not even think is there. They're there waiting for your content to really strike them. And if it's creative enough and interesting enough, trust me, it will do. Which brings me on to one of the points actually, was somebody saying, what I do isn't sexy, and it's probably not even sexy enough to try and sell. 2 things there. Number 1, what you do is sexy because you do it. So if it's interesting enough to you, there must be another audience out there who is interesting enough too. Don't forget, you're not necessarily trying to give value in your social content to somebody who might want to buy it. There might be somebody who works in the same industry. It might be somebody who does want to buy what you do, but is just interested to find out a little bit more. Because you mentioned there about selling as well. And what I'm trying to tell people at the moment is that don't make your content necessarily about selling. If you give enough value to your content, when it comes to asking for the sale in the end of the year or however long you feel you're going to be doing this marketing campaign for, then when you come to asking for the sale, if you've given enough value, the people will almost feel like they're a little bit guilt-tripped into actually buying what you do for a living anyway. So think about it that way, that number 1, what you do is sexy, and number 2, don't try and sell, just give value. Somebody else also says, a couple of people have said the same kind of thing. I'm going to feel like a total knobhead doing it. I don't look pro enough, and I reckon I'm going to speak garbage and possibly forget what I'm going to say and all that kind of thing. So this is where I try and break it down for people a little bit. When they're going to do a Facebook Live, it's really important to come into it prepared. If you've not listened to my previous podcast or my previous Facebook Live on this, go and have a watch, go and have a listen, whichever one gives you the most time that you've got to do. And it's called the 5 Ps. Preparation prevents piss poor performance. And that's easy for me to say. But preparation really does prevent piss poor performance, because if you are prepared to do your Facebook Live, you will fly. You're the voice of authority in your sector. Trust me, you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing, and all you've got to do is get that down into a blog. If you can write, then you can write a blog. It doesn't have to be the most spectacular blog in the world, and if you feel really, really bad writing a blog, why not write down some bullet points and maybe get a copywriter to write around what you've written with your bullet points, or even just post your bullet points as your blog. As long as they're getting over some value to the people who are going to read it, does it really matter if it's not necessarily a full written piece? Yes, absolutely, it's great if you can tell a story, but it's not the most important thing at first. Right now it's just about getting content out, then adding your story into the mix as well. Trust me, story is really, really important, and we'll get onto that further down the line in another podcast and another Facebook Live. However, right now, I just want you to concentrate on actually trying to get some content out in the first place, because it would be really, really beneficial to you. So write your blogs, write your bullet points, get them posted out. Those particular things can then become your script for your Facebook Live. Your Facebook Live can then become your story. So even if you've not written it in your blog, you can actually use the live video that you're going to do to really look and sound the part. You can add your story into it, because your bullet points are what you're going to talk around. The story is what you're going to put in the middle. So basically, when you do a Facebook Live, think of it this way. Number one, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm going to tell you what I do. That and the call to action at the very end will be the only points I talk about who I am and what it is I do, and if you want more information, come and get in touch. Because the rest of the time, I'm trying to give value. I'm trying to go through those bullet points, make sure that they're really suitable for the person who's reading or listening or watching my content, that they're really going to hit home, they're really going to resonate, and they're really going to give them value. If you can make sure your content actually does that, you're going to stop yourself from feeling like a knobhead, because you really do know what you're talking about. You're not an imposter, because you really know what you're talking about. There won't be ums and ahs, because you'll be prepared. You'll have got your blog written, you know what you're going to talk about, and you will look like a pro, because you are a pro. Trust me, you're the voice of authority in what you do. One last thing as well, when I was chatting to the guys in this forum, was somebody saying, not quite as such, but along the lines of showcase video, isn't it better for people to do that? They should have a showcase video on their website. I am all for showcase videos. I'd be stupid to say that I'm not, especially when I run a visual marketing agency. However, it is horses for courses. I'm a big believer as well that not every business has a large budget to spend on a single piece of content. And if you're a small business and you're just starting out, does one single piece of content really do it for your business? If you're someone like Dollar Shave Club and you've got enough money to shove at a video that will truly go viral, then you're probably onto a winner. But if you are a small accountancy firm, or if you are a small woodworking shop or a small electrical firm, the possibilities are that you might not have a big budget to throw at a video, or you might not necessarily feel you have the creativity to go for that. And if you do have to do something like that, then you'd have to go to a creative company, which would cost more money. So things like Facebook Lives and blogs and all these kind of things, they're free to do. So you can do all this stuff and it won't cost you a penny. You can do a podcast like I'm doing right now. It'll cost you nothing. Store it on SoundCloud and you're laughing. And in fact, you can actually listen to this podcast now on iTunes, because that's what I did. I put it out on SoundCloud, I got in touch with iTunes, I put it out on iTunes, and now it's out on there as well. You can do your Facebook Live, it's not going to cost you anything. You can download that content, you can put it onto YouTube, you can edit that content, and you can make it into short form content. You can make memes out of that content, which are photographs with what you've said that are going to really resonate with the people who are listening. So it's really, really important that you make your content actually work for you. And if you've got just one small video, that might not necessarily do that. So hopefully I've given you some value in this podcast. If you want to know any more at all about me trying to help you do your first Facebook Live and try and overcome what's stopping you from doing it, just get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to have a chat. You can leave a comment in the section below or somewhere. You can give me 5 stars on this particular podcast as well. That would be really cool. And have a great day. I'm off now to go and have a swim in the sea, and I'll catch you next time on another podcast.
This podcast has been a Perception Studios UK production.